heavy shot. The referee better take care of Madueño, man.
Madueño teetering on to stop.
Oscar Duarte versus Kenneth Sims could end pretty good for both guys, but there's only one way each of these guys can win, and there's not going to be a mixing. Where on Oscar Duarte's behalf, the only way he wins and takes over this fight is if he goes head to head in a fire brawl with Kenneth Sims, makes it a complete like Mexican style brawl firefight. And the only way Kenneth Sims has a possibility of winning this fight if he just boxes his ass off for this fight. And now obviously there could be a mix. Kenneth Sims could wake up a brawler inside him, and then we could also see Oscar Duarte start to box from a range, but that's just not how these two guys get down. Now let's start to analyze these fighters to really get our heads in who has the most chance of winning. And in my opinion, it's going to be Oscar Duarte. Now let's just look at his style. Oscar Duarte, he's a high guard, a forward pressure fighter, constantly moving forward, and nothing's really stopping him from like landing those power shots. That's the only thing he's really looking for, is straight power shots, and he's going to land them. And then you have his just rugged, ruthless ability to take shots, to take the power of any fighter that's put in front of him. And now his footwork is kind of forward and backwards, but he does a very good job at taking the punches with his skull. And he is a extremely powerful fighter, and that's going to be his like key to winning this fight, his power. He's able to endure all of the punches that fighters throw at him, and move forward and get in position to land nothing but power shots. And I'll get to why I believe that Oscar Duarte is really going to knock out Kenneth Sims. But moving on to Kenneth Sims' abilities coming into this fight, we have a boxer. This is going to be like a boxer versus fighter. We have a boxer who enjoys the range, enjoys a slower pace. He's not an in-the-pocket fighter unlike Oscar Duarte. He likes to keep it at range, work his jab, and he likes to... He's not necessarily a combination fighter. What I notice of Sims is he likes to just throw one punch at a time. He really takes his time at just planning the jab out, because that's what's most likely he's going to throw, a jab. He's going to take his time, throw the jab, work his footwork. He has a lot better footwork when it comes to angling, circling. He actually has head movement. But now we're going to start to get into the negatives of fighters. Where Kenneth Sims, I noticed, is his guard is a bit wide. And that's a problem when Oscar Duarte is going to come slinging at you, and your guard isn't necessarily the stiffest as it could be to kind of parry the shots and have everything deflect off of Kenneth Sims' guard. Secondly, of Kenneth Sims, he's not a very powerful fighter. I noticed that. He's not a very powerful fighter. Going against a power puncher, forward pressure, and hell of a chin fighter in Oscar Duarte, that could obviously cause some problems. And then with Oscar Duarte, he takes every punch on the chin. If it's not blocked by his high guard, he's not doing any like head movement. He doesn't really have any footwork besides moving backwards and forwards. And so Kenneth Sims can really start to get off. Because when Kenneth wants to, he can start to land and push up the activity. Okay. Push up the activity he brings into fights. And overall, I think Oscar Duarte has all the advantages coming into this fight. And he's going to be the one winning and landing the... How do I put this? I believe he's just going to overpower, overpressure, outthrow, outland, really just dominate this fight. And with his power, not necessarily technique, but he's just going to come forward and land to the point Kenneth Sims is kind of just left shelling up and taking all of the punches from these fighters, from Oscar Duarte, not these fighters, but from Oscar Duarte, and not letting his hands go as he should going into a fight with Oscar Duarte. But obviously, with my 20 plus years of pure boxing analysis, I could be wrong. Very small chance, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. This is going to be an exciting, brawling matchup. I think Oscar's going to make it his fight, where Kim's really going to have to let his hands go if he wants any shot of winning. So we'll see what comes from this. I'm excited.